Hey Ashley, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, it's good to see you. It's
Good to
been
see you too.
it's been a long time. How you doing? You excited about the new album? I'm just so happy for you. I've been listening to it the last couple of days. Just what a project this is. That's
Thank you. I'm
that's so
super
exciting.
excited about it. I'm tickled that like I was signing the some of the vinyls the other day, and I just looked at everybody in the room and I said, I'm writing my name on this idea we had one time, which is true for all records and true for all songs. But for this record, we just said, you know what would be cool is if we went and wrote this. And here we are putting it out.
Well, you guys have been having a lot of fun on social media, and I saw the website of the Lindeville Gazette and all that stuff. I mean, that's just genius. So, like, introduce us to Lindyville for anyone who is interested in listening to the record, and tell us about the sort of roller coaster ride that you're going to take the listeners on with this project.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, I love Lindyville and now I'm in love with a town that I've never been to. And I said, but you have. Any small town you've ever been to could have been Lindyville. So that's where we are. And when we drop you into the scene, it's sort of like being in an action film, which is one of my favorite ways to take in a movie. Because, the very first scene, there's just like a lot happening and a car is exploding and we don't know why. We don't care why. There's just a lot of action. That's where we get dropped in at the top of the record. The song is Brenda, Put Your Bra On, where Pillbox Patty, myself, and Kaylee Hammock are trying to wake Brenda up to let her know there's a fight in the trailer park that she's going to want to witness. I love that song because we're singing to Brenda, but the song is actually about a different girl named Tina who got cheated on. Um, so you immediately find out that, okay, we're trashy, classy, we've got this. And then there's some more characters you're going to meet. You're going to find out that there's a diner in town and a pawn shop in town, and there's even a jingle for the funeral home. We do talk about the Lindyville Gazette in a song called the Misconnection section, where two individuals are advertising that they're looking for someone to cheat on their spouse with, which is hilarious. So you get to meet different versions of the human disasters that we all are at different times in our life. And then there are moments like the girl in the picture, which is kind of heavy. We find out that there's a lady that's missing in town. We really don't know what happened to her, but we do know that the picture that they wound up using for the missing poster, it was the one that won the blue ribbon at the county fair recently. And then songs like Play Ball, where we meet an old guy named Pete, who takes care of the ball field. And it's sung from the point of view, and on it's TJ Osborne's voice, point of view of a young man that he used to pal around with over at the ball field and give advice to. And his advice is go to church, love your mom, play ball. There's just so much happening. And then after that, shortly after that is gospel night at the strip club. Why is there a gospel night at the strip club? Why wouldn't there be? Um, and that one's really close to my heart. You go through all of this and you're like, everybody is a disaster. Sometimes things are sweet, sometimes things are sad. And then we all go to Tina's house and we support her in the song Bonfire at Tina's. And we light her baby daddy's stuff on fire and burn our own woes in the process. And then we wrap everything up with a song called Lindyville, which kind of just lets you know that sometimes it's okay to just be okay. And even if the only thing that's okay is that the stars are beautiful tonight, then that's something we can hang on to.
Yeah, and it's so once you had this whole concept and this whole world in your head, like what made you choose this bunch of songwriters to work with? Are they your sort of go-to group, or did you think maybe these are the guys that are going to work for this project? Like how
Yeah,
did that community come
that's
about?
kind of a good question. But when it comes to putting a retreat together, when I'm like, we should go right, whatever it is, it's Nicola Hayford, myself, Erin Ratier, and Connie Harrington. And anytime we can get Brandy Clark, we grab her as well. I love writing songs. She's my favorite songwriter in town. And like Brandy Clark was on another retreat we did where we wrote Voodoo Doll and Sparrow and stuff like that. Talking to God, she was on that weekend too. So I know that I want those individuals. Then I asked Nicolette Hayford, is there anybody I want to bring somebody I've never met? And I trust you to choose that person. And she chose Benji Davis, and she knocked it out of the park with that one.
So, working on the production side as well with John Osborne, how was that process for you, and how valuable was it to have John's presence in the studio for such a playful project like this one? I would imagine he brought the humour to the project.
Absolutely. And there are so many gifted producers in town, but I love the choices that John makes, and I love the way his brain works and the way he approaches even chord progressions. I mean, we wrote these songs this way, and if this other thing would tweak and sound cool over here, I really trust John with that. And I asked him to produce and lend his brilliance to it, and he was happy and totally in. I knew he would choose musicians that got it. They're not just there in the studio for the day to,
Mm.
to bang on their instrument and get their paycheck. They understood what they were making. And I think it made all the difference in the world. I think this would have been a really different record if John hadn't been the guy behind the wheel.
Yeah. And one of the songwriters you mentioned, Aaron Raitier, I chatted with Aaron a few months back when he released his album. He's such a character, such a bubbly guy, and I would imagine when you're creating these characters and creating these worlds, he must be an absolute dream to be in a songwriting room with.
He's a character 1,000% of the time. So there is, if anyone's ever wondered, is that a put on? It is not. At any given time, he was playing his guitar and spouting out lines, or writing down new titles, or taking pictures with this really nice camera, or using this Polaroid, or rolling a joint. Like, he's just doing all of the characteristic things that are Aaron. And I think his ability to say whatever, whenever, is just priceless.
And Pillbox Patty, aka Nicola Hayford, tell us about working with Nicolette, because she's obviously been a huge part of your career. Standards, Delonaga, Sparrow, just to name a few. What is it about you guys that just clicks in a writing room, and why has it been such a successful partnership over the years?
I think now at this point, we work so well together because we're not afraid to piss one another off. And I told Benji that when we got to the retreat, I was like, Nicolette and I will argue at some point. And it turned out the argument on this retreat wound up being Bonfire at Tina's. That's how that song gets written. Nicolette and I met in a bar almost a decade ago and decided we should write songs together. And then we just got drunk together a bunch of times, and then eventually started writing songs together. But recently we were doing a show together down in Georgia, and we were having just a moment outside, having a cigarette and just chit chatting. And she said, "Look at us." I said, "Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that we were going to be this way, that we were going to write songs that we love so much." And she said, "Years ago, we said when we started writing songs together that we were going to do this, that we were going to do shows together, and we're doing it." She is definitely a huge part of my career. I absolutely adore writing songs with her. I adore arguing with her. Um, and I'll say things like, "I'm trying to contribute, but you're not telling me what page you're on." And she'll be like, "Dude, can you just shut up for like 2 minutes?" And during this argument, I was like, "Put the keyboard in the kitchen," because she's there. And they brought the keyboard into the kitchen, and she was playing. And then we got this thing started. We're all standing around the keyboard going, "Light it up, light it. What is that going to be?" And I was like, "I have to pee." So I ran down the hallway, and on the way back from the restroom, I go, "Nick, bonfire at Tina's, light it up, light it up." "Yeah, yeah." And she was like,
Jeez.
"Bitch." And I was like, "Yes, woo, we got this."
Yeah, that's the secret to songwriting. Just piss each other off. I love
That
it.
is not, don't be afraid to hurt one another's feelings.
And it's so cool to see someone like yourself being given this kind of creative freedom to release this kind of project as well. It's new, it's inventive. Like, what was the reaction from the label when you suggested this idea?
I was completely ready for no's across the board. Can I spend money on this? Can I make these into demos? Can I make this into a record? Those could have been no, no, no. Or not yet. Let's wait a few years. But that's not what I got. I got, "Holy crap, these songs are incredible. This is so much fun to listen to." Yes. I'm like, "Okay, but what if I've got John Osborne producing it?" They're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Cool. What if I invite TJ Osborne and Kaylee Hammock to also sing on it?" They're like, "Yes." And I was like, "This is awesome." It's like being at summer camp with a bunch of your friends, like, and there's going to be archery and horseback riding, and then we're going to go swimming, and there's a rope swing. Like, that's what the whole process felt like.
So what's the plan with this project? Is it going to be the usual album process of like roll out a few singles from it, or is it just going to be a sort of standalone record for the fans?
I think that's what it is standalone, because we could do the thing where we roll out some singles and stuff, but we really just wanted to put it all out at once. Here's the Lindyville Gazette. Come to town, familiarize yourself with everything. You know where the big purple dinosaur sign is. You can find your way around town from anywhere there. And then on the 30th, here's the record. Here's everybody. Here's Betty and Patty and Jenny and Aaron and Benji and TJ and John. Like,
I love it. It's awesome. And actually, just before I let you go, because I know we got limited time, on the touring front as well, how was the UK earlier this year? Because I didn't get to catch up with you here. So how was the whole tour?
it was amazing. It was amazing. And we played so many venues, like Ulster Hall was amazing. And Roundhouse in London. Oh my gosh, I
What a
love
venue.
that venue. Everything. Bristol was great. Brighton was great. Glasgow was great. Every show was sold out. I mean, it was just asses to elbows. And the ones that weren't like technically sold out, it was like 5 tickets short of sold out. I love it. And I love the way the fans just keep showing up. And I say it when I'm there and I mean it. I'll keep showing up for as long as you keep showing up. I just, it's magic. It's a whole different thing when we get to come over.
Yeah, that's music to our ears, Ashley. Thank you for that. And best of luck with this new album. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much for taking the time. And
Yeah, not a
yeah,
problem at all. It's good to see your face.
absolutely. And hopefully see you in person sometime soon when you come
Heck yeah.
back. All right. Thank you, Ashley, so much. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
And
I'll see you soon.
best of luck with the album. See you later.
Bye.
Take care.